Xin Jungle Patch 622. First of all, this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to choose Warlord's Bloodlust at the end here. This is mainly because all of the other keystones are pretty nerfed as of late. Grasp of Undying, of course, super weak, especially on non-laners. Courage of the Colossus. That has the potential to be good, but Xin already gets some defensive stats with his ultimate, depending on the number of people he hits, so nothing else really pops out at me this season. And with Fervor being a little bit weaker, I think it'd be more worth it to go for the full sustain route. You can see that I'm also picking up Vampirism. And because Xin is like more likely to catch people from a brush, Greenfather's Gift is actually decent on him, I would think, along with Fresh Blood. So Expose Weakness is good if you're a jungler that's going to wait for your team and you're going to interact with your team a lot. Xin does a lot of solo, so Fresh Blood is pretty good on him, I would think. And then the only other really big decision point is Natural Talent or Assassin. So everything else is pretty straightforward. Attack speed, Fresh Blood. He doesn't really need the sustain, but if you have a little bit of extra sustain, maybe that it'll be enough to push it over the top for being a really good thing. We'll try the clear with Natural Talent, and then I'll show the clear with Vampirism as well. Yeah, this is another choice that you can go any of these, really. Runic Affinity, though, is definitely trending up in terms of value. If you consider that a couple of extra red buff procs could equal 2% damage. So in some ways, this is going to always be better in certain situations, but Assassin is more consistent all around because it doesn't require you to have a buff. It just requires you to be solo killing. Now that I think about it, though, Assassin would do pretty well with Greenfather's Gift. If your objective is strictly to do the most damage possible in a 1v1, then you would go Fervor of Battle. This is... actually, no, I don't think you would go Fervor of Battle. This is your other option for Xin. You've got this Thunderlord's option. So let's do that instead. I'll do a clear with Warlords, and then I'll do a clear with Thunderlords. We can pretty much guess that Fervor of Battle is going to be weaker than Thunderlords or Warlords coming out of the jungle. If you go Warlords, you basically don't have to build any sustain in your build at all. So it really opens up your itemization. Fervor, maybe that's better for Assassins in, but you really want to be able to survive longer or do more damage quickly. So, alright, first we'll do the Thunderlords.
Demacian does not retreat. Always forward. Here's a tip and a spear behind it. Only actions truly speak.
Not actually that bad so far. I think I'll actually be full health after I finish blue here. Because Xin is so good at single target.
Their lives are forfeit.
And see how I cast my W while my Q was still going? That would actually be good if it was The nice thing about Xin Jungle is he's got so much sustain and so much, like a little bit of AoE sprinkled in there, so you'll be able to deal with this camp quite nicely. I'm just gonna tank the small ones until I need to cast my E, really.
Is never broken.
I didn't really do a good job of grouping them up there, so that is something you want to consider for Xin. You never really have to back on Xin. So you have time to do crab in this little downtime. So assuming I went to do crab, I'd be full health. Want to get all these kind of low.
Victory
Especially when you do E max. The more points you have in your E, the easier it is for you to clear the AoE camps. See, this is already our best negative here, which is great for us. Most junglers would have had the back. Xin is actually capable of having higher health in this based on having lifesteal and also his passive, so it's pretty unlikely that these would not be taken though, with so few things being used. So it's possible that taking early crab might actually be good for the junglers.
It shall be done.
And of course, you don't have to use your E on every camp. Since it does use so much of your mana pool, you can just sustain with your Q and W. So this is with Warlords above us.
Minions have spawned.
The only difference
Victory
between the
calls.
Thunderlord's page and this page is that the last two tiers.
A Demacian does not retreat.
And a little note there is, like, I like to attack first and then press W, whether you press W right before you see the camp. That's totally up to you. It's not a big deal, but every little thing counts in this game. You may wonder why I didn't get Q at that camp. It's because there's a large amount of mobs there. You don't really get a good use out of your Q there.
Fate has made its choice.
Plus, you can afford to eat through your mana pool before you get over to blue. And by the time you get blue, you'll be full health. That's just how good Xin jungle clear is. This is without lifesteal masteries or anything. Xin jungle is one of the best clears in the game. Always has been. You just need to run attack speed. This is 35% attack speed. And you can run Warlords or Thunderlords, but I recommend going back and looking at the rest of the Masteries if you didn't get a good look at them. And I think I can go actually take Crab. Go take Crab, recall, take this camp. By the time you take that, then your other camp will be back. And you want to make sure to max your E because that's what you're going to max in your actual game. So you don't want to like go for a super clear and then not do that in a real game. You can go Bloodraiser, Cinder Hulk, or Warrior on Xin. I tend to go Bloodraiser, but I'm like super attack speed buff.
Sound the march.
This rune page already has 35% attack speed, so I don't need to get the bonus attack speed early. And you can afford to use your Q to gap close to this camp. Even though you probably want to have it up again, since we have blue buff. It's not really everything. There's small optimizations that you'll find over time.
Their lives are forfeit.
So you want to start kiting this camp over here. That way, I only had to cast the one time, and this should be spawning like very quickly, within another 5 seconds. Yeah, I used the E on the middle one there. And I've still got 2 refillable potion charges, which just basically means that I can use those to gain. Not going to cast my E here, because there's no point. And you actually heal more off of auto attack in the small creeps that up there. So if you're able to do a full clear and get the crab, then you're setting yourself up for a really nice. We will go ahead and use one refillable pot charge just for consistency. In a real game, this is how I would play. This is how important your first clear is. Your first clear will determine how quickly you get level 6, depending on how successful you are in your ganks. And obviously, if you don't have anything else to do but clear the game, you can just out. Again, most melees, it's not worth it to take this camp.
Victory calls. The warrior spirit is near.
As soon as my red buff is up, that's what I'm gonna want to clear. So even if you have to leave, you have to leave. Since buffs are telegraphed to the enemy, you probably want to make sure to take that. And you want to be sure to send it out too. Comboing your abilities and smiting is really important.